Hello, welcome back. Thank you for watching. This is the third part of my bumper review series. I've split all the products I was trying recently into a few different videos. The first one was my favorites video, second one was my speed reviews video, and this is my cream blush review video. I have been trying out and testing over the last 3-4 months a lot of cream blushes, and I thought I would put it all together in one video because I know this time of year cream blushes become a really popular product and a lot of people are looking for the best ones, and they are quite trendy at the moment because you can get such a natural skin-like finish. I've really seen a lot of new cream blushes come to market in the past year, so I wanted to try some out and let you know which ones I think are best out of the ones I've tried. So I'm trying a range of different price points. I'm going to go through the price per gram, so how much you're getting in terms of value of the product for each, and I'm going to go through the formulas, what I think of them. I will tell you which colours I have in each formula and brand as well. There are a range of products from drugstore to high-end, so I've really tested out the whole spectrum of the market. These are not all brand new products, but they are ones that I have just tried in the last few months, so they are newish to me but not necessarily new to the market, except for one which I've tried for a long time and we'll talk about. If you do enjoy this video, please do give it a thumbs up. It would really help me to know which videos you guys like and what you would like to see more of. I really love doing these kind of collection reviews and I would love to know what you guys think of it, so leave a comment. As I say, give it a like and that really helps me to know which ones you guys are enjoying the most. And without further ado, let's get talking about cream blush. So I am going to be talking these in order from worst to best, so I'll start with the ones I like the least. Now, I do have to say right from the off, none of these products are bad formulas. I actually think all of them are pretty strong contenders for a good blush, a good cream blush. I haven't tried any that I hate, or none that I'm going to be talking about here anyway. I'm sure I have tried cream blushes that I don't like in the past, but all of these are really strong products. It just really depends on what formula you're looking for, how much you're looking to spend, how luxe you want it to feel. The first one I'm going to talk about, and my least favorite of the bunch, is the Barry M Fresh Face Cheek and Lip Tint. Now, I do want to say most of these are cream blushes in pots or sticks, but there are two that I'm going to talk about which you could argue they are liquid blushes, but I am including them in this because I do think they are still quite a creamy formula. They're not obviously completely solid, but they're not completely liquid, and they're pretty solid on your hand. They're not really moving, so I would still consider these kind of a liquid cream. I did want to mention this because it's so cheap. It's really good value. So you're actually paying 49p per milliliter for this. The total price is £4.99. Look, this is a nice formula. I have the shade Peachy Glow. They have, I think, 5 shades of this. They do have kind of 2 for lighter skin, 2 for much darker skin, and then 1 right in the middle for more medium toned skin. So I think there's a decent spread. I wish that there were slightly more shades, but I do think that with cream blushes you do tend to find quite a small shade range, but what I'm really looking for is the spectrum. I do think most of these products have a decent shade spectrum. So yeah, I do like it. It's a nice blush. It looks nice on me. It's a nice peachy color. It's very natural on the skin. Most cream blushes are going to blend in with your skin really nicely. The value, I think, here is the thing that wins it out. It's not quite the lowest price per gram I'm going to talk about, but it is very close. And yeah, it's nice. I guess the downsides for me are that it is just nice. It doesn't wow me. It's not amazing. This isn't going to leave your skin looking really glowy and really dewy. It's just going to have a nice skin-like texture. It's not really gonna look like you put anything super glossy on your face, but it's also not gonna look super matte on your face. So it's a nice in between, but it's not really adding a whole lot to my skin other than the tint. I think if you're not really
that fussed about, you know, expensive packaging, you know, having that kind of luxe feel. You want something that is going to last you a decent amount of time. You know, cream blushes tend to be really popular in the spring and summer months. Maybe people don't, I certainly don't use them as much in the winter months. So maybe that's what you're after, just, you know, something for a few months and then you can buy another one next year. I think this is a good option. It's just not my favorite. The next one I'm going to talk about is the Revolution Super Dewy Liquid Blush. So this is the other one that is in the liquid formula, but I would still consider it a cream. Oh, one thing I didn't mention about this is that I do find that it's a little bit difficult to get out just because the packaging is nothing fancy. Quite a lot of product comes out. It's quite hard to control the amount of product that comes out. So overall, these are not my favorite types of packaging for cream blushes, hence why they're at the bottom of my list. But this one I do prefer over the Barry M, just because it has a much finer nib, so you can control it a lot more easily. The shade I have here is Flushing For You. It's a much deeper shade than the Barry M. I actually really like this. I think it gives a really nice kind of sunburn vibe, but again, just not amazing. Pretty similar to the Barry M. This one is actually a better price per gram, so you're getting better value. It's 33p and the total price is £5. So the same price, but you are getting slightly more. So you're getting 15 millilitres in this one and you're getting 10 millilitres in this one. The thing is, it does blend into the skin nicely and it does look nice. It's not going to be completely dewy, it's not going to be completely matte, it's just going to look like your natural skin. But yeah, as I said, I just don't love the applicator. I think they're more finicky to work with. They take a little bit longer to blend out, and it's trickier to get the right amount of product to diffuse really easily. You have to like spot it on or else rub it all over your hand and go in with a brush, and I don't want to do that. So you have to like spot it on with your fingers, and it's just a little bit harder to work with, and you have to work a bit quicker with it because of that. So yeah, I would say they're not bad, but they're just not great. But definitely if you do want a good value, then these are really, really good for that. The next one on my list is the Milani cream blush. Now this is the Cheek Kiss cream blush, and I have the shade Coral Crush. So this is actually the blush that I'm wearing today. I hadn't worn it in a while, so I wanted to remind myself really what I thought of this. And I do actually really like this formula. This is a much more wet formula than some other cream blushes that I'm going to talk about. It's going to be more juicy looking than this one, and it's more of like a slippery texture. Like when you put your finger in, you can really feel how emollient it is. So for this one, you are getting 6 grams. The price in the UK is £13.50, but if you were to buy this in US dollars, it's only $8.99. So you know, the exchange rate there doesn't really work. We do pay a lot more for Milani in the UK than you do in the US. If you were to buy the equivalent of what I spent on this in US dollars, you would be paying $19 for this blush, whereas you are actually paying $10 less than that. So yeah, the price for me is £2.25 per gram, but obviously if you're paying in US dollars, it will be less than that. So work out the exchange rate yourself, because I can't do maths. It's a bit weird with the pricing with Milani, but that's essentially what you're getting for your money. So the value is not that great for me in the UK. I do really like the fact that this formula is a little bit more glowy, just because I tend to prefer that kind of look on my skin. If I am wearing a cream blush, I do prefer if it gives me a little bit of a glow, just because I want that kind of healthy, dewy, almost sweaty look. This one I find can be a little bit sheer when you're blending it out. So this is obviously quite a bright coral shade, and I find it's almost like it's too pigmented when you put it on and you're blending it out and you're like, oh my god, I have clown cheeks, and then all of a sudden it just completely disappears. And I actually had to put 2 layers on of this one just to get it to the intensity that I thought, you know, you can still kind of see it on my face. The first layer I put on almost blended out to nothing, so it's a little bit of a
strange formula because it is really pigmented when you first put it on. I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be like really kind of intense on the cheeks, but then it almost just, it's like when you're blending, and then it just goes and it's gone. So a bit of a weird one. You do need to build it up, but the good thing is that it is buildable. Okay, the next one I want to mention is the Ilia lip and cheek stick. So this one is obviously more of a high-end product than the other ones that I've just spoken about. This one actually is £33 and you only get 4.5 grams. So you're getting 6 grams for the Milani cream blush. You're only getting 4.5 grams. This is actually the lowest amount of product, yeah, out of all of them that I'm talking about. So you're paying a premium for this. The price per gram is actually £7.33. So that is the most by a fairly large amount. That's £2 more than the second most expensive in value. You're definitely paying a premium and you're not getting a great value, but the thing about this is it is in stick form, and I do think out of all of the kind of formats that you can get cream blushes in, I think it will take you the longest to go through a stick product, just because you're only using a really tiny amount of this every time you put it on your face. You know, you can really dig into a cream blush like this, and you can really get your fingers in there and like work it out and you kind of feel like you're using it up. Honestly, with stick products like this, I never feel like I'm anywhere near using them up. And I've had some of my stick foundations and stick blushes for several years and I still don't feel like I'm anywhere near using them up. Now, I don't wear them every day, so if you are someone who likes to wear them every day, I think you would prefer a different stick blush that I'm going to talk about. Because if you're just wanting one blush for every day, then this probably, I just don't think it's the best use of your money. It's a nice blush, it does give a nice glow to the cheeks. I have the shade Dreamer. I really like, again, the kind of sunburnt look that it gives my cheeks. I actually got this because Julia Adams on YouTube recommended it, because I love her kind of sunburnt cheek look that she always does, and she said she really liked this. One pro to this is that it is more of a clean beauty brand, so if that's important to you and your ingredient lists are important to you, that could be a big selling point, you know, if you're allergic to some ingredients. But yeah, overall, I don't think the packaging is that sturdy for the price. It kind of feels, it's sort of moving around in the component, this like metal thing here. I feel like it could break if I travel with it. It certainly looks nice. It looks very luxe and minimalist and cute, but I just don't think, for me, I don't think it's personally worth it. So I wouldn't repurchase. The next one is the other stick foundation. Now this I think is really good value. This is, I think, one of the best value products just because you're getting so much for your money. You're getting 28 grams here. The next size down from this, the next largest size, I think is the 15 milliliter Revolution, but the next kind of gram size is 10 grams, but this one is 28 grams, so that's a whole 18 grams more than the next largest. But actually the price per gram is 82p, which is more than some of the other blushes I've talked about, just because it is Milk. Have I said what it is? This is the Milk Makeup Lip and Cheek Stick. It is a little bit more of a higher price, so you do pay that little bit more, but you do get so much product in here. So this is the shade Rally. I really like this shade. I actually really like this for the winter time. It gives that really nice kind of bitten flush, like you've just been out in the cold for a long time. It's more of like a plummy shade and I really do love it. I've got a lot of use out of it, but as I say, I still don't feel like I'm anywhere near using it up, and I've had this well over a year, I would say. The packaging I think feels a lot more sturdy than the Ilia, and the good thing about this is that you can get most of the shades of the Milk Makeup Lip and Cheek Stick in a mini form. But if you buy the mini, you are paying for it in value, because the value goes up to £2.75 per gram, whereas if you buy this one, it's 82p per gram. So I think if you are someone that once you find a blush that's the only thing you're gonna wear every single day for 5 years on your face, like whenever you put on makeup, you're always gonna go, you just want one blush in your collection, you don't need any more, this could definitely be the one for you, just for value for money. And the formula is really nice. It gives a slight glow to the skin, but it's not going to be too glossy and wet that it doesn't, it slips around a lot. It just gives a really nice, healthy, skin-like texture, but it's a little bit more glowy than something like these tube cream blushes. So yeah, I really do like the formula of this. For me, the main con is just the size, because I am never going to work through this, and it annoys me to know I have a product here which I'm just not anywhere near to using up, and I don't know when I will ever be able to use it. But yeah, I'm struggling to find cons at these ones towards the end of the good end of the spectrum. This one is the e.l.f. Putty blush. So I've talked about this in a couple of videos. I have 2 shades. I have the shade, oh god, they don't have the shade names on the pot, and now I can't remember which ones I have. Well, this one I know is Turks and Caicos, and I think this one is either Tahiti or Fiji. I will leave it listed down below which one I got. I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, these ones are slightly different in that they have a much more matte texture than I think really any of the others. These are, as the name suggests, putty light. You know, they are movable in the pat. You can like get your finger in there, but they really do kind of dry down quite matte when you apply them to the skin. They turn into that kind of cream to powder sort of formula. So you actually get 10 grams here. So this is the second largest after the Milk Makeup Stick. The price is £6, and so you're only paying 60p per gram. So it's actually better value than the Milk Makeup Stick, which is interesting. And this one, I do find if you apply it with your fingers, it's not good. For me, it just doesn't work. It kind of sticks to the area that you put it in like a little circle. It doesn't blend out the way that I would like it to blend out. But I really do love these when you put a stippling brush right in it, swirl it around, and then put it onto your cheek. I think you can get such a beautiful diffused look with that, and it looks so skin-like. And even though these are matte, and I do normally prefer, I have to say, a glow with my cream blush, they still look so skin-like. They don't look too drying, then they don't accentuate any dryness on my face. They just look like skin, and if I want to add highlight, I can use a cream highlight over the top to add that glow. So it does give you a little bit more option. You know, with a glowy cream blush, you can't necessarily, you know, take the glow away, but at least with a matte cream blush, you have the option of it being matte if you want that. And if you have oily skin, then that might be what you're looking for. You know, you might not want the dewiness. That's my second favorite. This is my favorite cream blush, and we're going back to the dew, we're going back to the glowiness, and this one is a higher price point, but I absolutely love this formula, and just for the overall experience of using this. This is the Caicos Color and Light Cream or Creme version. So here you do get, well, it says 9 grams, but I have written down 8 grams from the Cult Beauty website. Interesting. Okay, so you get 9 grams of product, but bearing in mind that that is split over a highlight and a blush, so it's really, you know, 4.5 grams per product. So the blush is really 4.5 grams, so I've based my price per gram on that just for the blush, so you know, it's like for like compared to the other products, and that is £4, so it's actually quite an expensive value, but this is still my favorite. You are paying £32, but you do get a highlight thrown in for that. So what I like about this, a few different things. First of all, the packaging here compared to like this high-end packaging, worlds above. Like, it feels really chic. It feels, you know, not too heavy, but heavy enough to know that like you paid some money for it. It's got a mirror inside the compact. This is the only cream blush I'm talking about with a mirror. You obviously get your extra highlighter thrown in, so it does feel like you're using a luxe product when you're using this. But the thing I really love about this is just The creaminess of the formula is so nice. It's so wet feeling. More than this even. This is wet, but it's quite thin, whereas this is wet feeling, but it's a thicker cream. Like, you really feel like you're getting some payoff with this one. And you do with that one, but this is just a more thick cream in terms of what you get on your finger when you put your finger in the pan. But it doesn't feel too heavy on the skin. It doesn't weigh the skin down. It doesn't feel like you're piling makeup on your face. You really do get a better pigmentation with this than with this, for example, because it's less thin and less, it's slippery, but it's not so slippery that it's almost oily, you know. This is like slippery, but it's like proper, it's a proper cream. It's really hard to explain when you can't feel it yourself, but yeah, I love the shade of this as well. This is the shade Velvet Melon, and this is another peach. It's actually very similar to this Barry M shade, to be honest. They look very similar. I would say the Caicos one leans just a bit more orange, whereas this one leans a little bit more pink. The Caicos is there and the Barry M is there, if you can see that. The other benefit of this is, again, if you're into clean beauty, Caicos are a cleaner brand. So again, if ingredient lists are important to you and you have allergies, etc., that could be something that you need to consider. I also appreciate the fact that they do an intense version. So although I do think you actually get a really good color payoff, better than some of the other cream blushes, it is pretty pigmented and it's pretty vibrant on the skin. So it doesn't like blend away into nothing the way some of the other blushes do. But I just really appreciate that they also offer a high intensity version, because then you have the option. So if you do have a darker skin tone, you know that you can get this shade, but one that is definitely gonna show up on your skin tone, if you know what I mean. Because if someone with a darker skin tone than me use this, even though it's pigmented on my skin, it might not necessarily be pigmented on their skin. But the higher intensity version is gonna have the same undertones, and it's going to have that same kind of orangey peachy undertone on the skin. It's going to be more likely to, you know, show up on those other skin tones, basically. So overall, even though the value is not the cheapest, and I do think, you know, it's a little bit of a luxury purchase, I really love this formula. I've been really impressed with Caicos as a brand. I don't think I've tried something I haven't liked from them. I'm really excited to see what other releases they're coming out with as well. They're a brand that are definitely on my like watch list at the moment. And yeah, they really impressed me with this blush. That is everything I have to talk about. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you are looking for a new cream blush, let me know which one you're interested in, or if there's another one that I didn't mention here, because there are lots coming out at the moment. They're a really, really popular product category. Everyone is loving cream blushes, and for good reason. You know, you really can't beat the natural skin finish of a cream blush, I don't think. I only use cream blushes these days. I really don't use powder blushes anymore, or very rarely use powder blushes anymore. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope that you are doing well and taking care of yourself, and I will see you in the next one.